Welcome back to another video. Today, I will be discussing when you don't look like what you've been through, people wonder. Do me a favor and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Friends, you ever notice how people say things like, "You seem fine," "You don't look like you've been through much," "I would have never guessed." And they don't mean harm by it. They're not trying to be dismissive. But what they don't understand is that some of the strongest storms don't leave visible damage. Some battles don't show up on your face. They live beyond what can be seen with the eyes. They dwell deep in your heart. And when you don't look like what you've survived, people start wondering. Not because you're lying, but because pain doesn't always leave fingerprints. Tonight, I want to talk about that. Why people judge pain by appearance. Most people only understand suffering when it looks dramatic. They understand tears, they understand breakdowns, they understand visible collapse, but they don't understand quiet endurance. They don't understand the person who kept showing up, the one who didn't have time to fall apart, the one who healed without an audience. If you learned how to smile through disappointment, how to work through grief, how to keep moving while breaking internally, people assume you had it easy, not because they know your story, but because they only recognize pain when it's loud. There's a kind of strength no one claps for. It's the strength of getting out of bed when life feels heavy, choosing peace instead of revenge, and rebuilding without an explanation. You didn't have the luxury of falling apart. You had responsibilities, people counting on you, bills, some even had children. So you survived quietly, and now people look at you and say, "You don't seem like you've been through much." But what they're really saying is, they never saw the nights you cried in silence. They never saw the prayers that only the Almighty Himself heard. They never saw how close you were to giving up, and that's okay. Let me say this gently. You do not owe anyone visible scars. You don't have to explain why you're cautious, why you value peace, why you don't chase chaos. Your healing does not need witnesses to be real. Some people need to see suffering to believe it existed. But maturity teaches you this. Not everyone deserves access to your story, and not every lesson needs an audience. Here's the part nobody talks about. Looking okay can be lonely, because when you appear strong, people stop checking on you. Your pain gets minimized. Your exhaustion goes unnoticed. You become the one people lean on while no one asks if you're all right. If you're tired, you become the example instead of the person who needs understanding. And that can hurt in a quiet way. But it also reveals something important. You didn't harden, you refined. Surviving didn't make you bitter, it made you careful. It didn't make you cold, it made you discerning. You learned who deserves access, when silence is safer, when walking away is wisdom. And that's why you don't look like what you've been through, because you didn't let it destroy you, you let it shape you. You see, sometimes people doubt your past because it challenges their assumptions. They expect trauma to look broken. They expect pain to look chaotic. But healing doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like boundaries, self-respect, calm reactions, quiet confidence. And when people can't reconcile your peace with the pain you've endured, they question the pain. But that's not your burden to carry. Take a moment, just one, and acknowledge this. The version of you that survived did the best with what it had at the time. You made mistakes. You may have stayed too long. You may have trusted the wrong people, but you kept going. And because of that, you're here now. Stronger, wiser, more grounded. You don't need to prove what you've been through. You do not have to walk around wearing your feelings as outer garments. Your presence is proof enough. So if someone ever says, "You don't look like what you've been through," you can smile. Not because they're right, but because they'll never fully know how far you've come. And that's okay. Some journeys are sacred. Some victories are silent. Some strengths do not need validation. If this message found you tonight, sit with it for a while. You've earned your calm and been through. You do not need to explain your trials or how far you've come, especially when you've been blessed to not look like what you've been through. If you have found value in this video, please share it with someone you care about, and if you can relate to it, then give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate seeing it. Feel free to comment. Subscribe to my channel, and take care of yourself.